How's it going, guys? Right now you're watching some of the Anthem footage in the background. I specifically wanted to talk about regarding the Anthem's optimization and in the settings that you can actually do. Well, not up to the degree that we were all expecting. Obviously, there were some already, rumors and, well, not exact facts regarding Anthem of its 30 FPS frames per second, or also regarding the 60 FPS. For example, if we could have on our PlayStation 4 Pro or the Xbox One X. So could we have like an optimization from forget about the 4K quality, but instead you can have the 60 FPS or up to that standards or even up there somewhere, as long as it's more than 30 FPS. I would have been much happier with this results, but instead Bioware even said it on their Twitter page and stuff, and the tweets basically they have mentioned that they are optimizing all on the concentration is basically on the visuals. Unfortunately, I think that the performance is what matters most, and how you get to feel for the game, how it plays. That's more important. But the problem with this, just regarding it, I have not encountered yet with any game that it's an open world game that has more than 30 FPS on the, regarding on even on PlayStation 4 Pro or the Xbox One X. God of War does it the closest, I believe so, because with the quality aspects of it, especially, it's very demanding game, isn't it? And also, it still is concentrated mostly towards the linear part of the game, not the open world game. So there are some elements that to it has like a semi-open world game, but not a true open world game. For example, like Rockstar games, Assassin's Creed games, like Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption, they're never going to be up to 60 FPS. Perhaps maybe the next gen consoles, perhaps. And I actually do, like for real, the equipment and the stuff that we'll be introducing into the PlayStation 5 and Xbox, the next Xbox basically, whatever it's going to be called, Xbox 2 perhaps, I don't know, the next Xbox, right? I want to expect at least all of our games up to the standards up to 60 FPS. This has to be the lowest. Like, I will be completely disappointed to find out, for example, our high-end tier graphics, high-end tier processors and CPUs and sort of that good stuff on our next-gen consoles. You get to play open world games only on 30 FPS. But as long as you have those 4K quality, what's next? 8K quality? Shut the fuck up. No, I don't want that. Give us an option. Or just concentrate all your games are having the minimum of 30 FPS. Right? If there is no games out there that are, for example, well, let's just say Rockstar games that they always tend to concentrate their upcoming games and stuff on the 30 FPS because it's an open world game, it's giant, it's beautiful, it makes sense why it would be 30 FPS. So it goes for the Assassin's Creed Odyssey, for example, Origins. They are very giant type of games as well, and they've never been up to 60 FPS. Well, obviously uncapped on PC, everything is pretty much uncapped on PC, and I don't want to see any more of these sort of games in the next gen consoles regarding it that would be 30 FPS, again, the minimum. No, don't cap it. Whatever you do, I'd rather have my FPS going down and up, you know what I mean? But not always steady. I'd rather have it above 30 FPS. You guys, have you ever actually seen a game that looks 40 FPS, 50 FPS and it jumps a little bit? It still looks it feels so much better than 30 FPS, especially with God of War. It's never 60 FPS, like never, actually, most of the times it really is never, but it feels so good to play on almost the 60 FPS, even 40 FPS, as long as it's more than 30 FPS. I don't give a damn about the 4K quality. I could get a 4K television and whatever, the optimization will be all on the performance. Not the only person would want this. Would you agree with me? Tell me down in the comments. Do you agree? Do you rather have a processor power instead of the quality or the visuals power, right? I think that Sony and also Microsoft, they need to increase their efforts, increase their scavenge more into the goddamn CPU aspects of the game. Concentrate on that, because the CPUs all the time are the bottlenecks of all of our consoles and also the PCs as well, right? Like Intel, for example, iCore, there's i9 now, finally it's out, like since a year ago I believe, so I might be wrong a little bit on that. And finally, they're not as much of a bottleneck, but now also the GPUs are going crazy with the real-time Light tracing's insane, like, oh, bottlenecks the hell out of the CPU again. You know what I mean? I just don't want to see any more open world games up to 30 FPS. Minimum must be 60 FPS, or at least uncap it. If it goes lower than 30 FPS, oh my apologies, lower than 60 FPS, fine, at least it will be more than 30 FPS. If it's anything lower than 30 FPS in the next gen consoles, that would be unacceptable. They need to optimize it correctly and very gently and as well smart. You know what I mean? When I mean gently, you know, take their time a little bit, of course. If they need to delay the game just to make sure that they uncap the game with the FPS, please do so. It'll feel so much better. You would want to come back again and again and again. As long as the game feels good to play and it's fun, I don't see why not and why I would not return to this game. God of War, for instance. Well, actually, God of War, that might be a bad pick because that game is the game of the year. Well, let's go with Assassin's Creed, for example. It's a fun game, quirky, ridiculous some of the times, makes no sense completely, story kind of shit, but you know, especially the DLCs are with such a giant controversies going on regarding it that you cannot be gay because like it forces you to choose being straight. I mean, what? Okay, I'm not part of that story. I don't really care about it, to be honest with you, and I do want to expect to see our choices actually matter in the game. Well, I guess it doesn't really they don't care, like the Ubisoft team or whoever is creating Assassin's Creed Odyssey and the DLCs specifically. So basically that's regarding the point, but I wanted to see Anthem, for example, above 30 FPS, but I mean, I kind of understand as well why it would be, but you know, at least Xbox One X is more powerful than the PS4 Pro, and yet it's capped on 30 FPS. It will feel the same as Destiny does, even though it feels better than Destiny, in fact. It's funny. Yeah, fun fact. It's not really fun fact, but it really actually feels better than Destiny with the how you aim and everything. It's a lot more responsive. Destiny is like a dragging a little bit. You can feel it. Obviously, you can get used to it, but Anthem is a lot easier to get in control of your javelin, your character. Fun fact. And yeah, it feels good. It really does feel good. And flying, shooting, everything. And that's pretty fun. I don't know, I'm kind of disappointed regarding this news that it's just going to be 30 FPS and that's that on all consoles, PS4, PS4 Pro, Xbox One and Xbox One X, 30 FPS overall. I do kind of expect it to go down the frames, especially on a PS4 and the Xbox One, the originals. And regarding the step-ups, midway tier of an upgrade, PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, yeah, I think they'll be very, very steady on the 30 FPS. Unfortunately, I would really want to go and see of it being increased. I really hope that perhaps Bioware would make an exception, right? And they actually, during the patch, or maybe perhaps when the game comes out, it will be finally uncapped. Obviously, it's never going to get reached to 60 FPS, but at least it will be higher than 30 FPS. I'm hoping here, guys. I'm not saying it's the definitive answer. I'm just speculating a little bit as well. I really am hoping for it. I don't know. I don't know how we can expect this to go down because, I feel like these games, it's a mandatory of having a 60 FPS as a minimum standards in these, in this 2019, and yet we're still playing on the games on these 30 FPS. I mean, it still is a step up, but compared to the PC, whew, beauty, isn't it? Anyway, I think I'm done rambling, and thank you so much for watching. Tell me down in the comments, am I wrong, am I right? Do you agree? Would you like to see a performance upgrade, or would you like to see as the visuals is more of an essential? Anyway, I'm done now. Thank you so much. Check out my Twitter. It is at ZDEyE. Also, please consider actually donating or perhaps subscribing on the subscriber star. I will leave down links below in the description as well. And for you to check it out at least. If you don't, I completely understand, and thank you still for checking it out, or at least considering. And yeah, I'm going to let you go now. Have an awesome day, and have a good one.